Hello and welcome to Anatomy of Marriage and Marriage Mornings. I'm your host, Melanie Studley.
And my name is Seth, and I am a licensed marriage and family therapist.
And we are on day 29 of our Infinity Marriage Morning Challenges.
That's
if you're
right.
new here, welcome. We have many episodes that are not this short marriage morning format, but this today is the short marriage morning format.
Every day is the short marriage morning format. And like Melanie said, it's day 29, and we are almost to 30 days. And guess what? It takes 30 days to create a new habit or to break an old habit. Some people say 21, which we've already passed. And if you've made it to 30 days, almost 30 days, 29 days, then you are doing awesome. I guarantee that you have a better marriage for listening for 29 days.
High five. Ow! Oh.
Ooh, you hit her tattoo. Speaking of which...
We got some tattoos last
Oops, you
night.
can't see it.
Yeah, you can't. But it's exciting. We're in Dallas, Texas, and we got tattoos on Valentine's Day, celebrating 2 years of the Anatomy of Marriage podcast. Anyway.
That's right.
Every
4 things.
marriage morning, we do 4 things. We do a prayer, we do a past gratitude, a future hope, and a goal. I'm going to pray today.
Yes.
Here we go.
We like to hold hands.
Dear Jesus, thank you so much for all of our blessings. Help us to be helpful to the world today. Help us to be loving to one another, kind to one another, thoughtful, and to just spread love and joy throughout everything. Amen.
Amen.
I don't pray
I was
very
just
well.
thinking of you because when I did like that, I'm going to put my hand on on your shoulder. I was kind of pulling your hair. And I was like, oh, I don't want to make her uncomfortable. So I thought of you.
Cool.
a
So a past gratitude. I mean, yesterday was amazing.
Yes, it was.
All of yesterday. We had lunch with Dr. Corey Allen, which is amazing.
From
And his
Sexy
wife,
Marriage Radio.
She's amazing.
Corey and Pam.
Her nails, they're amazing.
Right. Well, I was very thankful for that and just how you and I had fun together. We related to one another. We ate at 2 really great restaurants and basically spent almost every single waking hour together, and it was a fun day. Thank you for being awesome and fun and engaging. And part of the topic is today we're going to come back to why yesterday was such a good day. Future hope. What is your future hope?
That sorry, I really thought you were saying more about that. My future hope is that tonight our hot and spicy date night goes amazingly. Like
Right.
I'm so excited for it, but I just hope that we do a killer job. And
We're not going on a hot and spicy date night. We are
presenting
presenting
at the hot and spicy date
We're doing
night.
3 presentations, and I think there will be about
Question and
500
answer.
people there,
Yeah,
which will
hopefully.
be super awesome. And we will nail it. We will seriously crush it. I'm serious. We will do good.
I like your style, man.
Thanks.
What
Yes,
about you?
my future hope is the same. We're so connected.
Okay.
My
My
future hope
goal
is that we do awesome today, and it's relatable.
Yeah.
and good.
My goal for today is to get work done on Labeled Podcast. I have got to work.
Just got to work, people. And my goal is just other stuff, other AOM
Fun
work stuff to do. Yeah, so, okay, let's dive into today's topic.
The topic today, which I don't even think I announced, is arousal. And we're talking
interesting.
about it, and arousal is an interesting concept because when we hear the word arousal or aroused, we think of what?
We think of sexual arousal, like this turns me on, or whatever.
But we don't often think of like an arousing conversation or like playing tennis or I don't always bring up tennis. I don't even play tennis, but things that sort of ignite
maybe
your
that arouses you. I don't know.
Things that ignite your entire body, like your brain and your body, and everything kind of clicks together.
Right.
So we wanted to talk about arousal in a new way because specifically non-sexual arousal, because I have found through a friend of mine who tells me things, I was just being silly, that if I have all of those things lined up, non-sexual arousal, like stimulating conversation, things like swimming, body stimulation,
So
like
the mind and the body.
and then connect it to a relationship, so sort of like spiritually type things, then my sexual arousal is much more likely to be inclined to be engaged. If that makes sense.
Yes, and even as a therapist talking about arousal and stimulation, I think just culturally we think of sexual things, right? And just like you said, when we are yesterday, okay, let's kind of break down yesterday. Yesterday we had conversations with really smart people who we look up to, who we appreciate. We had really good conversations between you and I.
We ate really amazing food.
Food, yeah, that was stimulating, taste buddily.
Taste buddily.
Buddily wise. We were physically stimulated, we were intellectually stimulated, and we were, I think, creative too, because we were talking about other ideas in the podcast realm and like books and stuff like that.
Our hopes, our future hopes, all those things.
So it was like joined together, kind of laser beam focus on very certain things. And then we did something that we both love last night. Went to another great restaurant down in Dallas, and we got tattoos afterwards. And it was just super fun, relating, low key, great Valentine's Day, right? So how can you guys pay attention to your, this is interesting too, an arousal cycle. Can you speak to the arousal cycle?
Yes.
And this is, go ahead.
This is all from Emily Nagoski's book, Come As You Are. But there are arousal cycles. So, like it's not like you can have a peak and then constantly stay there. It's a cycle, like getting hungry. It will come back later if you don't just constantly eat all the time. What else did you want me to say about that?
Sorry, I took a drink of coffee. The arousal cycle, like in a typical day, say that you wake up, your alarm clock stimulates you to wake up, then your mind starts going of what you have to do, and then sometimes we can get in a peak. Well, we can get in a plateaued peak state where we're thinking about one thing only, and then we're not really aroused in another way. So I want you to pay attention to your arousal cycle, sexually and intellectually and physically. Like after you work out, you're physically aroused, you're physically stimulated, your blood is pumping, you
feel good,
your capillaries are dilated, you got a lot of things going on. So I think we should do a whole podcast about this, about different arousal cycles and how those arousal cycles relate to one another, and what we want to see more of and what we want to see less of, because we can become aroused, and this is called flooding by Dr. John Gottman's work. Flooding, when you're in an argument or something, then you're not thinking correctly.
Like a bad kind of aroused.
Like a bad kind of aroused.
Like punch holes in the walls aroused.
Yeah, or scream or do whatever in an argument. What can you do to stop that arousal cycle? What can you do to identify your triggers, and what you need to do to deactivate those triggers? Take a break, walk around, do whatever. So yeah, that's a really good thing.
Great segue.
Sorry, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I do want to just reiterate the idea, though, that often in culture and society, we're not taught to think of arousal positively other than sexual arousal. And I just noticed personally, like if I have, and so this might sound really strange, I don't have to have a rousing conversation with Seth to have it eventually turn into sexual arousal with Seth, if that makes sense. Like having a job that you love, like no joke, I love audio engineering and it makes my brain light up and I love it. So it's something that when I do my work and I do it well, I feel better in my brain and my body. I feel more connected. I feel aroused. And then that arousal can then be focused toward Seth. And I know that sounds really weird. People have
it doesn't sound weird. Let me give you an analogy. So
you better hurry up. It's 8:27.
Here's a cliff, right? And over the cliff is like sexual arousal and being engaged with your partner, right? So all these other things are pushing you towards that cliff, like a great work or a stimulating conversation or food or anything like that. It's just pushing you towards that, and then it makes it that much easier for you to go over the, I guess, sexually arousal cliff kind of thing, if that makes sense. So that's not weird at all. It just it makes a lot of sense to me. All right, let's wrap it up, sister.
Yeah, I think that is really a good point, that it's sort of like an accumulation of things. It's like a snow plow, plowing snow. Eventually so much gets onto the end of the snow plow that it piles off into sex. Anyway, have an amazing day. Thank you for joining us. Use hashtag Marriage Mornings to tell us what you're doing every single day. And wish us luck at our hot, spicy date night.
All right. Videos coming soon.
Bye.
All right. Love you. Bye.